making sure that the recovery of COVID, that we just don't go back to the status quo, right, to how it used to be, because we have to literally address the systemic issues that have created the inequities, that have created the disproportionality. And so it means that we do have to, come out of this, not just not leaving anyone behind during the response phase of it, which we're in now, but as we think about planning for the future, we got to make sure that people of color are also at the table, solving our problems for ourselves, along with other community members, that we are at the table at city council, that we are at the table with state governments, at the governor's office, and at all levels of government to make sure that recovery is going to be equitable, that recovery is going to be forward thinking, that we're not going to go back to the same old ways that created the inequities around healthcare, the inequities around housing, the inequities about poverty. That's policies that create people in poverty. People don't want to be poor. People are poor because of systems and policies that create inequities. And so I just wanted to, share that we look forward to those bold, broad conversations, because it has to include every single Latina and every single Latino and every single person of color and every resident and every community across the country. I think in terms of the census, part of our vision as a organization, the first Latino-led organization in our Tri-County area, is to be able to create power, right? It's about agency and it's about power. And so it starts with census. It's we have to make sure that we're counted. Eagle County, Garfield County, and Pickens County were undercounted. We are reflected as 30% of Eagle and Garfield and 10% of Pickens. Well, we're far more. There's more Latinas and Latinos that just simply are undercounted because of the very systems that keep us in the shadows, that keep us not voicing or not allowing us to be able to voice and participate in some of these basic civic and democratic institutions like the census or voting. And so I think there's a lot of opportunities for us to move past COVID in a true recovery that really ensures that all residents, that all citizens, that all communities have a seat at the table.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I just wanted to add to that because, it's really difficult when you're a Latino leader and you're trying to tell your community, you should trust the government, trust our sheriff department, trust the census, even though we're hearing these mixed messages from the White House and from other organizations. And it's we're swimming against the current, right? Because you have this main message coming at us, but then we're saying another message, but then we can't trust our institutions. So I think this is also really reflecting that, institutions, certain nonprofits, school districts have really failed our community at so many different levels. And there's these levels of mistrust, and we are having to organize ourselves. We're having to translate and appropriate things and give it a new lens and a new culture and approach in a whole nother way. And we're doing this for our own community. And it's really hard to be, not being part of these organizations, but knowing how it's going to implicate and how it's going to affect our own community. And it's taking the life out of us, right? There's so many hours in the day to make sure that, our community is well informed, that our community can trust some of these processes, and that our community can really understand what it means to be a part of this bigger system. So it's extra, 3 times the work to get one person to participate in the census. It's 5 times the work to get one person to vote. So again, not trusting these institutions and having these institutions fail us is just making this work so much harder for our community.